I want to pass along what I learned from my friend Max Lewis regarding the Amazon Web Services Web Application Firewall. Not only how you get those logs into QRadar, but also I will show you how you can get an extension to the standard parser or DSM that IBM created that extracts more fields, and the Pulse dashboard that he created to see this information in a nice way. So you'll see why I'm doing a whiteboard of this process, and that has to do with the fact that when you have a web application firewall in front of an app in AWS, which is going to be allowing or denying access based on IP addresses or whatever criteria you put in that rule, the logs are not sent straight to an S3 bucket, but the actual logs are sent to a service, string service called Kinesis, and the full name, and Amazon likes to give new names and long names, is Kinesis Firehose Delivery Stream, and that is the one that in turn sends it to an S3 bucket. But how does QRadar knows that the data is there and where to retrieve it rather than going periodically into it? What this Kinesis thing does is it communicates with another piece called SQS, which stands for Simple Queue Service, and that's the one that by virtue of a URL notifies QRadar that there is a QRadar subscribe to this SQS, and whenever there's new data, it will say there's new data for you, and in that URL is all the information that QRadar needs to retrieve that. And by the way, I'm showing this drawing using QRadar either on-prem or in another cloud, but this will work the same if you choose to have QRadar running in AWS in order to save migration charges. Let's actually switch into AWS and show you some of these definitions. So I'm logging into the AWS console, and if I type WAF there, I go to this section. I'm going to show the ACL that Max created for this, and this is the access control rule for the WAF. I could scroll down, but I don't want to reveal IP addresses and stuff, but you'll see the requests that were denied. The resource that he associated, he actually created a load balancer that is denying all access. And when that happens, the logs is actually sent. And when you click here in login and metrics, and you click edit login, then you have the opportunity to put the name of the Kinesis data stream that you actually have in there. Let's actually go to Kinesis here. And this is the actual instance that Max created. And we're going to go here. Well, we don't need to actually go to details, but notice that this is where the S3 bucket is associated. You don't need to know this because that information is going to be conveyed in that URL. And finally, let's actually go to SQS to see the other piece of where you connect these things. And this is the actual instance. I'm going to post a video to cover the URL. I don't think that anyone can do anything with the URL alone because they don't have the key, but just in case, I'm going to cover that. And this is the piece. You click on this icon and it will copy into the clipboard because you'll need to specify that when we create the log source in QRadar. Let's actually go there and start the process. So I'm here in QRadar. I'm going to go to the log source management app. And I already created that log instance. And by the way, you need to make sure that you have run auto updates, because this WAF support comes in the form of not just the DSM, but also a protocol that is needed. And this is the instance I created. Let's actually go into edit mode and show some of the things. So again, that's the name that I gave to the log source type. And this is what you need to select, WAF, and this is the actual protocol. Nothing special here. I took all the default. Let me actually switch into the protocol, but I'm going to cover the URL again here. So the authentication method, as I said before, access key and secret key, you get that from your AWS admin. You put them here. And in this section, this parameter, there are actually two options. One is called a prefix, and that is a way you tell specifically which bucket to retrieve the logs, but that has a lot of limitation. It's on a single account, it doesn't support multiple regions, so it's not as flexible as this one with SQS that I'm showing you here. When you select the option SQS, you can put in here that URL that I showed you before from AWS. You specify your region, and the format is going to be JSON. Now we click into the test. Start the test, and when the test concludes, you get all those check marks indicating that there was a successful connection. Very nice. And after, this is not real-time streaming. This might take 3 to 5 minutes. So I put the HTTP and the URL of that resource that is protected by that rule, and I got denied. And we see those instances in here and covering the IP where I did that from. And I specified that the log source is AWS WAF as we defined it before. And here is the Pulse dashboard that Max created, and there's not much data here because all I did were those two actions, but this is actually much richer in terms of the thing that it can retrieve. And he also, as I said before, he went into the DSM editor and added some custom property. Let me show you which those were. And this is when I added that file. And again, I'll show you in a minute how you get this from my public box folder. These are the report that the installation gave me, and those are the properties that were added. So basically, Max went into the DSM editor and went here, and he added the extraction of those additional properties that we see them merge in here, and he exported this, so you can add it without having to go with the process of extracting those. He didn't use regex. I mean to say these are JSON parameters, so that these are much easier to be extracted. In case you want to see a sample of the logs, here you can actually see I'm covering the IP address. So in the video description of all my videos, I put this link to a public box folder in which you'll find this new folder, and here you'll find the dashboard that you add in Pulse. You'll see me doing this before, it's very trivial, as well as the zip file that you will add as a configuration. But I mean, for completeness, since we haven't reached the 10 minutes, so the zip file you add it as if it would have been an extension. Please notice that this is something Max created, so it's not supported. So it's something, if you take this, don't call support IBM support, because they will recognize this as something that you actually did. And I actually added that zip file by clicking here, add, and make it a point in there. And the Pulse dashboard, what you need to do is actually go into here, new dashboard, import existing, and point to that JSON file, and voila, you'll have the Pulse dashboard I showed you earlier. Let me actually go ahead and get it in here. Again, in your case, if you have real data, it's going to be far richer than what I have, and I don't have any data right now because I did that test maybe 3 hours ago or so. Let me put 5 hours here and update, and you'll see that data coming up.